This is Mrs. Dodge, your biology teacher here, and today we're at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science in Gloucester on a beautiful August afternoon, and we are going to take you through the characteristics of life. And the first characteristic is going to be growth.
Hi, I'm Mr. Turley. I'm going to be a GK12 fellow at Grafton High School. I'm a grad student at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science. And right now we're here in our aquarium where we have lots of species available to show you. So today we're going to be talking about the characteristics of life. So the first one we're going to talk about is growth. And as you can see here with the whelks, they grow in successive sizes, adding layers onto their shells. And so it's the same shell, there's just more layers as they get bigger and bigger. It's very important to all forms of life.
All right, this is a horseshoe crab. It's actually more akin to the spiders than it actually is a crab. This is the dorsal side, and that telson, that tail, is not poisonous. It's used to help to right itself when it gets flipped over by waves. Here's the inside. And right in the middle of its legs is its mouth. These things right here are the gills. These are called book gills. And then you can actually see the legs. They're modified for feeding and for walking. Well, he looks a little unhappy. Let me show you the eyes, and then I'll put him back. Okay, he actually has eyes here, and there's actually a sensor right there for light. And this is a horseshoe crab, common in the Chesapeake Bay. And actually they're caught and they're bled. They have blue blood that's actually used in the medical industry. Okay, David.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Murphy. I'm a fellow for the National Science Foundation, and I'm going to be working in Grafton High School with Miss Lake. Right now I'm in the Virginia Institute of Marine Science Aquarium, and we're talking to you today about the characteristics of life. And what I'll be talking about is reproduction. So all organisms need to reproduce. They need to reproduce and make offspring to sustain their populations. So just like this knobbed whelk, it's a common gastropod found in the Chesapeake Bay. This is just the shell from one. They lay eggs, and these eggs look like this, and you've probably seen them on the beach. These ones are a little dried up here. But inside each one of these little sacs is thousands of baby whelk. And you can see I've pulled apart a couple of them, and there's some babies right there. And so it's a very important characteristic for all living things to reproduce. And there's all sorts of ways to do it.
Okay, hello, I am Miss Deary. I'm also a GK12 fellow here at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science, and one of the other jobs I do besides being a student is feeding the fish. And metabolism is one of those characteristics of life. For organisms like fishes that are consumers, they must feed. So this is what I have right here is some fish food that we make in-house. It's a type of jello mixture, and we feed it to the fishes, and they will consume the food, hopefully. This is a black sea bass. They are ambush predators. So as you can see, fishes also need the food to eat, and this is how they'll continue growing. And for plants, they are able to construct their own food through photosynthesis.
All living things are made up of cells. Cells are tiny units of life that make up all living things. So going from single cellular organisms like phytoplankton, which each individual is one cell, to tiny grass shrimp made up of millions of cells. To humans, which we are made up of about 50 trillion cells, all the way up to this killer whale, this orca, which who knows how many cells make up that organism. But we all share that in common.
There are many animals in this aquarium. They have marine mammal models hanging from the ceiling and on the walls. They have tanks that contain invertebrates, such as the horseshoe crab. And they also have this huge tank. This is the largest tank in the aquarium in films. And it contains spade fish, which have the stripes going up and down, and the drum, which can actually make noises. That's what they're called, drum. But there's another animal here I'd like to talk about, and that's the human animal. And one of the characteristics that all animals have, and particularly if you concentrate on humans, is homeostasis. And that's the ability to maintain a stable environment. For example, when you exercise, your heart rate goes up, you start respiring. So the body actually adapts to changing conditions. Homeostasis.
Another important characteristic of life that all living things share is our genetic code. Like the coelacanth here, we used to think that it was related to tetrapods like us and other land organisms because morphologically it has fins that resemble our legs and our arms. But we're finding through the genetic code and sequencing that actually it is an ancestor but not a direct link between ourselves and fish. Because of the common genetic code that we and fish share, we found out that we're not as related as we once thought. And that is an important characteristic of all living things, is our genetic code. So here we are outside Vims overlooking the York River. And across the river right there is Yorktown. So we're going to summarize a little bit what we've learned today. We've learned about the characteristics that make up all living things, whether they be plant or animal, bacteria or otherwise. So, can you remember the 7 things we've gone through today? There was growth and metabolism. There was response to stimuli. There was reproduction. There was homeostasis. There is the common genetic code. And there was, we all have basic units of life called cells. And I believe that wraps it up. Thanks for watching.